just gotta, like, in my opinion, if you're gonna have a relationship centered around God,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
it just makes the most sense.
Yeah, that's wise. Wisdom.
Molly,
my
raise
dog.
your hand.
Let's
You know it, bro.
go.
But basically, in a relationship, it's not two of you, it's three of you. God's also in this. It's like a triangle.
Yeah.
So, the farther away both of you are from God, the farther away you are from each other.
I own you.
Okay, yo, we're getting real already, dog. Let's
You're welcome.
go.
If you end up losing them, you're not losing anything. They were never yours in the first place.
There it is. Do you think relationships, dating relationships in high school are worth it? Yo, what is up?
We're chilling.
Okay, we cooking?
We're cooking.
What's up?
How do we start the
How's everyone doing?
We already are.
Oh, wait,
Oh yeah, it's recorded,
Okay,
bro.
wait.
We're here. We're in this. This is the first ever marked pod.
Let's go.
We're like
go.
trying to get those headphones off, dog.
We love you, Liam.
Well, we're here
Bro,
to
I-
hang, and it's gonna be a great time. We these are some of the student leaders, marked student leaders, and we're gonna chill and talk about some stuff. We've been in a series the last little bit called Marked by Love, talking about God's love for us, how we ought to love one another, how he's called us to love ourselves, what it looks like to have relationships. We got a little PG-13 here or there. We won't do that on the pod today. We'll just be talking. Primarily, I wanted to have a conversation about dating and dating in high school, some like preemptive ideas, thoughts, what the Bible has to say, some of your guys' thoughts as students to students, what you guys are thinking. So don't hog the mic. Y'all can pass it around as you got. But before we get this party started, I got a couple questions, a couple fun icebreakers. You ready? All right. Okay, this is a game called The Biggest Red Flag.
Oh, boy.
Okay. So
When she
so
doesn't
I'm
hunt.
gonna give you two options, and you have to decide which is the bigger red flag.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So number one. Okay, this is about social media. Number one, they post every single day about your relationship, including arguments. Or number two, they never acknowledge your relationship online and tell people they're keeping their options open. Whoa! What's a bigger red flag?
Number two.
Number two?
Yeah, number two, I just follow the crowd.
Yeah, number two is crazy, but number one's wild, dog.
I'm gonna say one.
Yeah.
Just to be different.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Number
saying
one's
one.
crazy.
Two.
Imagine like
Yeah, number one's kind of crazy.
somebody
but
talking
like,
about your
number,
heated
Number one, man.
emotions
Yeah,
on
no way.
everything.
No way.
Actually, I kind of want to change now because like number
Yeah,
two,
number-
you can kind of just like end it, but like number one, you
Yeah,
kinda,
number
like,
one's
talk about it.
crazy.
Yeah,
no
yeah.
way.
Yeah, well, like social media, it's just like don't get into arguments.
No,
we
it's
can't-
them
no,
posting
it-
about your arguments
Yeah.
Yeah.
on social media.
And
So,
then,
like,
and
if
then
we
everything
meet-
else that like you do,
Everything
every
you
single
say,
day.
they'll post it on social media.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah,
Nah,
no
that's
way.
sus.
No
I ain't
way.
doing that.
No way.
Yeah, no.
All right, okay, number two.
Yeah.
Okay, this is about family. Okay, red flag number one. They refuse to introduce you to their family, even if you've been together for like months. Or number two, they expect you to text their mom every day.
Nope. Number two.
Number two.
Number
Number
two.
two.
Wait,
I feel like number one probably.
Well, that's crazy. No way. I ain't texting your mom every day, bro.
No,
why is
I'm
it
fine
wrong
with
to text their
texting.
mom, though?
Dude,
I mean,
I am
like,
not
what is it,
texting
like-
your mom every
like,
day.
Does it specify what we're texting?
Bro, no way.
No, it's
I am
just
not texting
they
anybody's
expect
mom.
in your
No way.
relationship to text their mother
For what?
just to check in with them.
No. There is no way.
Do that. I would
No
do
way.
that. I already do
Yes.
that.
You text in with somebody else's mom every day.
Nope.
I text into Isabella and Isabella's mom, and I'm like, "Hey, is it okay if I say I love her or whatever like that?"
Okay, but like
We're getting real already,
we're,
dog.
We're talking about every single day, Liam. So say that you guys are dating.
It's
for
not even that. It's
9
that
years.
It's the expectation.
Yeah, no
of-
way.
That's crazy.
No,
to
that's
me.
not happening.
That's by far the bigger
That is
red
not
flag.
happening.
Okay, last one. Red flag number 3. They get jealous when you mention anybody else's name but theirs. Or number two, they're so clingy that they FaceTime you for hours on end just to like watch what you're doing. They don't even like
I don't
have to
actually-
talk.
I don't even like mind that.
Read
though.
one again.
They get jealous anytime
Like the-
you mention anybody's name.
I'm gonna go with
I'm gonna
one.
go. I'm gonna go with one.
Yeah.
What's wrong with being
Cause like number two.
There's a lot of things wrong with being clingy, dog.
Cause like number two,
Like,
number.
Number
like,
one's wild.
It's not.
Yeah,
it's-
number one's wild. Number
Number
two is
one-
not
yeah.
even that bad. Like I would actually do that.
I'd much rather like.
Like I would FaceTime. Like for hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
If
gonna
I
FaceTime.
like her that much, then yeah,
Yeah.
I'd be on FaceTime.
Yeah. So number one.
But
Yeah.
what if she'd be like tweaking if you didn't? If
I
you're
don't-
like, nah,
I don't know.
wanna
That's
FaceTime.
like both are kind of bad.
That's kind of the point of the game, bro.
Oh, my bad. No, I'm gonna go with
Number
number
one-
two
number
still. I'm
one,
gonna stay.
definitely
I mean,
number
number one. I'm gonna
I would
stay.
say
I'm
number
gonna say
one,
number
too.
one. Yeah.
All right.
They're both equal. Yeah.
That's good.
Number
That's good.
two.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad we're all on the same page. Okay, another question. Yeah, what is the worst dating advice you could give somebody?
Don't ask them out
I'm
the
not
first time you
qualified
see
to
them.
speak on this subject.
Worst dating advice.
What?
Worst dating
If y'all don't talk at least once every day, like that's pretty bad.
Okay, so your worst dating advice would be don't talk to her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if you
I mean,
want to
that-
see
that's-
someone's relationship go down.
Yeah. Just don't. Or always be angry. Yeah.
Or telling them how to love each other, like. oh, if he
Pull your
doesn't-
mic closer to yeah.
What do you think, Liam?
Like if he doesn't tell
advice.
you,
For
like
dating.
if somebody tells me how to love my partner, it's like
Worst advice
don't tell
is
me
the
because
go.
that's our thing, right? Like if he doesn't
Yeah.
text you, he doesn't love you, or if he doesn't do this or that, he doesn't love you. Like that's
That,
not,
bad
That's
advice.
yeah.
Okay, what's the best dating advice you could give someone?
Best dating advice.
Save sex till marriage.
Yeah.
Okay, yo, we're getting real already, dog. Let's
You're welcome.
go.
Pause.
Womp,
But yeah,
womp.
I agree with them. I'm on board.
Always ask permission.
Keep it PG.
For what, bro?
Always.
That's wild. Follow
No,
up.
for like kissing, hugs, anything. Always ask permission.
Okay, that's good. That's good
Respect.
advice. That's good.
Always,
How do you make the first
always
move,
just keep even ground, mutual ground. Always be respectful.
Okay.
That's crazy.
Okay.
I don't know, bro. That's
Okay. All right. Cool. That's good. That's good. Not bad. Not bad. Have any of you ever heard like a wild or really awkward dating moment or experienced it before?
Okay, so I have something that's quite funny. I'm a pretty oblivious man. I'm pretty oblivious often. Okay, so like, little bro, when I was like a few years ago, I was dating this girl.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, you and that other girl would be so cute together," and we're both like, cause I was talking to her, and they're like, "Oh, really?" And she's like, "Yeah." I was like,
you were
"Okay,"
dating her, though?
and then I started going to try and date that other girl. And then in front of her, and then she was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "What? You said we would be a good couple." And then she
Yo.
looked at me, and they looked at me. I was like, "What? What's
That's
going
crazy.
on?" And then I was like, "Do you want to break up?" She's like, "Okay, we can break up right now then." And she got super
Yo,
mad
that's
and started
so
crying. And I was
crazy.
like,
Liam, that's wild, bro.
These girls don't make no sense. And I was
I
just,
agree. Raise your hand if you think women make no sense.
I'm not answering this question.
Yeah, that's wise. Wisdom,
Molly,
my
raise
dog.
your hand. You
Let's
know it, bro.
go.
You know it.
All right. Okay, that's good. That's hilarious, Liam. Yeah. Do you think? Now, this is not based off. It can be based off your experience, but don't answer about your experience specifically, because I know some of you are in relationships and some of you aren't. But just a generalized statement. Do you think relationships, dating relationships in high school are worth it?
nah.
What do you think?
All right, here's why I think it's like pointless. Because first of all, if you're a Christian, and this is just how I see it, there's really no point of dating a girl if you're going to wait till marriage. Because the reason I say that is because all the fun is kind of in doing stuff like that, and you could be friends with that same person and girl and be the same exact relationship, like hugs and whatever. So it doesn't really matter. And you can get your heart broken and waste so much time on them. And there's other things to focus on. And it
Yeah.
could just add stress when you got school, your friendships, other things to do in life. Then focus on a girl. and keep changing things up and spending money on her just for her to get bored of you in the future.
Sure, fair enough. That's a fine answer. That's good.
Building off of what Liam said, I would say that there's some
Hold that a
benefits.
little closer.
I would say that there's some benefits to dating in high school.
Yeah.
But also there isn't.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with why there isn't a lot of benefits, because in high school you're trying to focus on schools, right? You're trying to focus on your school, getting good grades.
At least you should be.
Yeah, well, you should be. You should be. Yeah, you should be. And it can become very distracting when you have to manage a lot of time for one person.
Yeah.
In particular, so let's say you have a hobby, right? You have school, and then you have her. That's a lot of time that you're putting into those things
Fair
that you
enough.
might not be able to make room for.
Fair enough.
And then you also got to think at school, right? Like, what if you're in the same class together and everything, and that could be distracting. And then you also got to think as financially, as men, we are most men would pay for the meal. Let's be honest, going out for lunch. No, going out for lunch, most of the time the guy would pay.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So then you got to think that you're paying for two people to have lunch,
Yeah.
at school or whatever,
With,
right? So that
with no job.
yeah, that could be expensive, right? And then even if you do have a job, right? You're young, you still need to save for a car. You need to save for everything else, your phone, everything else like that. I just think it's too much stress.
Sure.
So I would.
What do you guys
hold
think
off.
up there?
So I personally think, I feel like depending on who you are, you should date. And
Okay.
as a teenager, I feel like there's, like Evan said, there's a lot you have to focus on when you're dating. But I'm in a relationship, so it is a bit hard, but it's also nice to have somebody to be able to talk to be able to understand, right? Because
Yeah.
in high school, it's hard to have friends. There's people who you might not trust, and when you're dating somebody, you're a bit closer to that person, and you have someone to actually talk to,
That's fair.
and to actually have a friend.
Yeah. That's
But I've seen a lot of people who haven't made the right choices, so just be
Right.
careful on who you date.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
So
Let's say high school relationships are worth it. When do you think is a good time to start?
Grade 10 or 11.
Okay.
Just
Why?
because
Yeah.
grade 9, it's your start, right? And
Yeah.
grade 10, you're getting used to it, and then it's just an easier transition. And
Okay.
I don't know. I think it's grade 10 and 11 makes sense.
Yeah.
older the better, right?
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, I would
I'd
say
agree.
the older the better. Typically, as a man, I would have more traditional views in that way.
Yeah.
And with the
Not too old.
yeah, we ain't talking about sussy
No.
stuff here. But I would say to my son, and I would say to you guys, if you don't have a vehicle to pick your girl up and go on a date, then maybe that's not the best time to start. But there's different ways, it depends on where you live too. It depends on how close you live. There's so many different contexts and nuances, depending on how close your families are, how often you guys would see each other. There's so many different things to say. But that would be generally my idea. Not that I think it's right or wrong to date in high school. I dated in high school. I wish I didn't, because it just caused me nothing but heartache in a lot of ways, but more because of my own stupidity. And it was more just in the sense of it wasn't bad. It doesn't have to be bad, and it doesn't have to be good necessarily. My question is it worth it? As a Christian, right, if our pursuit is marriage, that's the point of dating, to find out if someone's a good life partner, then is that okay to do in high school? Sure. I have family that have stayed together. My cousins, they were in my life, obviously. They were family. They were youth leaders. They dated all throughout high school. They got engaged at youth group. It was hilarious. And they stayed together forever. And that's great. And that can be true. And that can work. And that's okay. But it typically doesn't work out that way for the most part. So not that dating in high school is bad. And it's more I want to keep talking about it because realistically, we're going to do it anyways. Or some of us are to some extent. So it's not so much I think the worth it conversation is interesting to give an answer to, especially as students to students. But it's more like the better question is, how should we, if
You
we're
just
going to?
really, you just gotta like, in my opinion, if you're gonna have a relationship centered around God,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
it just makes the most sense.
Yeah.
Right. Like, yeah, it just makes sense to center around God.
So with that, how does our first relationship with Jesus, because that should be first, I think we would all agree on that.
For sure.
If that relationship first with Jesus, how does that impact now our relationship with a significant other? How should it?
Positively,
Positively. is
it's
good.
impacting it negatively. That's not good.
Yeah, typically Jesus doesn't impact things negatively.
Yeah, I don't like with my girlfriend that I have a relationship with. We usually, my goal is I try and think of what can I do to help inspire her to come closer to God, and then she gives me verses if I'm upset, or she helps me and
Yeah.
reminds me that God's there and whatever. And she also just, one of the things I was reminded was I was talking to her, and I basically gave this quote. Oh, what's it called? Monologue on how much I love her. Speech. How much I love her. Like, I didn't actually mean this.
Shakespeare.
Yeah. I was like, what's it called? I didn't mean it when I said this, but I said, you're my everything, but we know that. But I was just like, hold up. Let me just take a pause right here, because I obviously knew I didn't mean it. Jesus is
yeah.
my everything.
Right.
But then I took a second, hold up, because I've been asking God for a long time, how could I love you more? And this was like 2 months ago. And I've been making some serious gains, some serious progress ever since then. But it was like, hold on, I could talk to Jesus and be this excited before I talk to him. I could love Jesus this much or even more. Every time I go to Jesus before bed, I can talk to him and be just as excited as if I was about to talk to my girl.
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah,
Bars.
get up to
Let's
that.
go,
Hey,
Leo.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, what do you guys think? How does the relationship with Jesus impact your romantic relationships?
I mean, I would say it would like inspire me to become closer to Jesus and get the other closer to Jesus, right? Like get your loved ones and your relationships closer to Jesus as you
Yeah.
can. Personally, I would try to bring them to church and try to get them to experience God if they haven't before.
Yeah.
And if they have, maybe like awaken them again, right? Like
Right.
bring them back and try to like get them back in a relationship with Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the word inspire, because we want to like model our relationship with Jesus. Because obviously, if we just like say we love Jesus and want to follow him, but don't, and nobody sees that, that's not very inspirational. But you can't also force anyone to love God either,
No.
right? And you probably shouldn't necessarily be the primary factor of someone having a relationship with God. They should have one, and you should have one, and you should be growing towards God together, and that's how you grow closer, right?
Yeah.
It's not so much like growing closer together. It's more like you're both pursuing Jesus together, therefore you're getting closer. Yeah, Molly's got the bars.
Yeah. So basically, in a relationship, people think, oh, we don't need God because we have each other. But basically, in a relationship, it's not two of you, it's three of you. God's also in this. It's like a triangle.
Yeah.
So the farther away both of you are from God, the farther away you are from each other,
Right.
spiritually and everything. Right? And your morals are not right. Nothing's right. You're emotionally not good because you don't have God in your life. The more you get closer to Jesus, the more closer you're going to get closer to your partner. That's how that works.
Yeah.
Because if you're not close to God, you're not going to be close to your partner.
Right.
So,
Mic drop.
Yeah.
no, I won't.
Are we under the general consensus? Because it can go both ways sometimes. Do you think, as a Christian, your significant other must be a Christian?
Yes. If they don't believe, then it's just pointless.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen like stories of
It
guys.
starts off as they're not Christian, but then it goes to them being Christian.
Right.
Yeah, it's-
Or like
like
maybe
dangerous game.
maybe God needs you
Yeah.
to bring them to Jesus, right?
Yeah, I don't ever think that that's true.
It's just
Personally, as a romantic relationship.
Yeah.
I think that God can obviously use us to bring people to Jesus. That's what we're called to do, right? We're marked for difference, to make a difference in the world around us. I think it's a dangerous game to ever assume that we should be in a romantic relationship in order for that person to know God, because they should know God in our actions. And right, if you don't start with aligned values, more times than not, the higher values drop and the lower values don't exceed for the most part. It can happen, and it has happened, and I've seen it happen. But it's definitely not like our ideal going into relationships, right? I've had godly relationships in high school that didn't last, but they were good. And I had ungodly relationships in high school that didn't last, and they were horrible, and they brought me down to the pit. From my own choices, for sure. But I chose to be in that relationship willfully knowing what the situation was. And my hopes and dreams of what it could have been is not what happened. Quite the very opposite. So typically that is like, yeah, being on the same page about that. So you're pursuing God as two individuals pursuing Jesus, not necessarily pursuing one another per se, although obviously you do to an extent. Then you grow in that way. How do you know when you should start dating a person? It's like you have a crush and you let's say just on the understanding they're a Christian, you're a Christian, you feel like this could go somewhere, you want to get to know that person. What would be, okay, I think we should go forward with that.
I got one word: pray.
Pray.
Get confirmation from God.
I was gonna also say ask for a sign. 'Cause
Exactly.
Some people ask for signs about important things.
Yeah.
So,
I heard about signs. Something I heard about asking for signs is it's not always wise to ask for signs from God, just because that could be used by the devil to confuse you or knock you off course.
Yeah.
Instead, what I do is usually I pray for discernment to see what signs God has already implanted in my life.
Totally. Yeah, and I think a huge sign doesn't necessarily have to be like a big thing, which is peace in your heart. Like not just I got it. But I've got peace in my heart that it's okay. And I think, as your pastor, I think having your parents or leaders or mentors, pastors, whoever in your life who you would be able to talk to and affirm, hey, is this a good decision? I wish I did that in my life. It probably would have saved me a lot of heartache. If I just brought someone who was wiser, smarter, more ahead than me and been like, hey, is this a smart thing to do? Because I know I want to do it. But is it a smart thing to do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that safeguards us a lot and helps us make wise choices. Because getting discernment doesn't always mean God telling you in your brain. It means God telling someone else to help you along the way. You know?
Yeah.
God uses leaders in our lives to be able to affirm and lead us. That's why they're called leaders. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I think that's cool. How do you balance friends with a relationship in high school?
Wait, are you?
Because that's a tough one. Because
Yeah.
oftentimes all of us have seen it. One of our guys or girls gets, the significant other, and you don't hear from them again.
You gotta balance it. It's gotta be a perfect balance.
I would personally say before I would start the relationship or when we were first getting into it, I would lay down I need to spend time with this person. They mean a lot to me too. They've been with me almost forever. How long they've been with you? And they mean a lot to me. So I will tell them that I'm gonna need time for them, but I will make time for you, and just try to balance it out. But I would also make sure that it's okay with your friend, because I know it's your decision, but also you're if your friend has been there for you and knows you and everything, and he's a person that you trust that you can talk to.
Yeah.
I would say that if he is okay with it, and if he's okay with not spending as much time with you as normally, but cutting it down.
Yeah.
Whereas you guys get to hang out still every once in a while, then yeah, I would say that That's my answer. I would say that it's
Right.
okay.
Totally. What do you guys think?
So what me and my friends did, I talked to my friends. I went to them like, hey, so what are we gonna do here? Because I don't want to ignore you. I don't want to leave you, and I also want to make sure my partner wants to know that they are loved and stuff like that. And I asked my friends what they wanted me to do, and my friend suggested to like take turns. So like some days I'll hang out with my boyfriend, and some other days I'll hang out with my friends. Like, and if I've hanged out with my boyfriend too much, then hang out a bit more with your friends. Or if they feel ignored, don't ignore them.
Yeah.
Like talk to them. You got to communicate. It's not
Yeah.
just you, it's everyone else. So,
Yeah. 100.
yeah.
Yeah, I think oftentimes, I mean, we've all seen friends drop off and then their relationship not work out and then them come like crawling back.
Yeah.
And
then
like,
everyone's like, nah.
and well, it's just kind of icky, you know? It's like, yeah, it's so cringe tasting.
Yeah, no.
It's like, we've been together forever. We were supposed to
Yeah,
be better
right,
than that.
like-
I think a huge thing to safeguard that and keep that balance is to have your partner hang out with your friends.
Yes.
If
What
your
if-
friends don't like them and your significant other doesn't like your friends, then they're probably not good for you.
Yeah.
In the whole sum, like obviously,
your
you know,
boys
in
know you
certain
best.
situations,
Yeah.
it could be a little bit awkward for your boyfriend to hang out with a group of girls. You know what I mean? They'd be like, nah, but like hang out in groups all together, hang out with his friends and your friends, and maybe they don't always mix and match. But if there's like no alignment, no like can be in the same room type vibe, that might be a yellow flag at least.
Yeah, what I was just thinking is, at the very least you can do, your friends, if they're like good friends, they shouldn't really mind too much. They just need assurance. So just give them assurance and be like,
Yeah.
just set some boundaries and do the same with your girl. If she is a good fit for you, and she would probably be fine. All she probably wants is assurance. And if your friends are good, like nobody would be against my friends, my boys and girls, right? Nobody would be against them. But and if my friends are against my girl, then maybe those friends aren't really the best people.
Both are true. It can be both true.
Bro, spitting.
Yeah.
Mike.
Yeah, go for it, Molly. Pass that mic.
Spit it. Drop the beat.
Okay, another thing is that I've realized with friendships and dating
Yeah.
is that you shouldn't have to choose between your friend and your partner.
Totally. And neither should make you do so.
No. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I've had that. Like, you shouldn't even
Unless
have a
they're like
choice.
genuinely concerned for your well-being because
Yeah.
the other person
Yeah.
is not a good person.
Yeah.
That's
You
different.
should, yeah,
You
it should
shouldn't-
never be like,
Yeah.
either me or him.
Exactly. And you shouldn't
yeah.
like give
It's-
up your
yeah, it's
friends
not good.
for your significant other or give up your girlfriend for your friends. It just shouldn't have to be a choice.
Move back in a little bit. You're probably getting cut off. I agree.
R.I.P.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, as long as like I think you're not making an ultimatum that you're deciding between your friends and your boyfriend and girlfriend, and they're not making you, and your friends aren't making you for the right reasons, obviously.
Yeah.
Not just like ultimately, the more things you have in life, the more your time is going to be divided amongst
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah.
And there's priorities, right? Obviously, your time with your family is a huge priority, although you might not want that in high school. Your time with Jesus is a huge priority. If you're sacrificing any of that for anybody else, then that's a big deal. Your time with your friends is a priority. Your time in school, homework, all that is a big priority. You're only going to get through high school once. So, yeah, you don't want to sacrifice whatever the important things are. And if in a season of life you're like in a relationship or want to be in a relationship, you're like, I just don't have what it takes to invest into that right now. Just like you got a whole life ahead of you. You know what I mean? It's like there's no rush here, in the sense that you have to be. Do you guys feel in high school there's a pressure to date? You don't think so?
I mean, like no one's really
Like not anyone's like making you
Yeah,
do
like,
it, but
I
just like a
know.
cultural pressure. Like
Yeah.
your friends are getting into relationships, you're not really sure. Don't do that. You're not really sure. Like it's all changing around you. You're like am I missing out? Do I need to get into one?
Yeah, like FOMO is like a big thing, but like at the same time, it's like, well, why do something that like culture's trying to get you to do it, but at the same time, it's just like it just doesn't make sense to do it. Same
Right.
with, same with other things.
Fair
It just
enough.
Doesn't make sense.
No one's really pushing you to do it.
No, like it's just it's your own head.
Oftentimes, I find pressure with those kinds of things is like we put that on ourselves more than anybody else
Exactly,
puts
yeah.
that on us. Where it's like I can have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, so I should. It's like just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good life
It's
principle.
called free will.
Yeah.
Free will.
Should I
What's
run
the
outside?
best? Yes. What's the best example of like real godly love that you've seen in your life?
Phil and Miss K on Duck Dynasty.
Nice.
I love that show.
Yeah, we could tell.
So good.
It's a yeah. Could be someone in your church, someone in your family.
I mean, personally, I would say my parents.
Oh, ayo.
I would say my parents. I feel like my parents were meant to be together. God went through great lengths to get my parents together,
That's beautiful.
and it's just like it's a great story when you hear about how my parents met.
Yeah. And there's like a genuine, real godly love in that. What's like a defining factor that you've seen in these examples, even if it is on Duck Dynasty?
When they do everything together,
Okay.
Yeah.
and they do things together and for God.
Okay.
I've seen my parents Bible read together.
Yeah.
I've seen my parents pray together. I've seen them do things with us that are for God, like go to church.
Yeah.
And every day at the dinner table, my family gets together for dinner every single day. And we talk about how our day went, and we pray before every meal
Nice.
as a family.
It's just a great view of love is the goodwill of. I feel like it's just the will to want to help someone even if there's nothing in return is just a great parameter to see love as, because
Yeah.
me coming to God, amen, thank you Jesus, was one OG thing from my OG friend. He's a real one.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the goodwill of with no return.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, dope. Dating, godly dating in high school. Let me ask one last question, then we'll wrap it up. What would be some good boundaries in a Christian relationship in high school that you would encourage others to have in their relationship?
For boundaries, I would say physical boundaries.
It doesn't have to be that. It could be anything.
But I'm saying that physical boundaries is a good one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Especially-
Just having those.
Yeah, having those
Yeah.
physical boundaries are
Yeah.
good. And and I would also say I don't know, I think physical boundaries are important, but then also emotional boundaries are
Yeah.
good. If someone's feeling a certain way that you just if you need to give them some time, you know that
Yeah.
you're there to support them, but if you need to give them some time,
Right.
just
Yeah, that's good.
and I don't really have
No,
anything
that's cool.
else.
What do you guys think?
It's just a good boundary is just to always make sure there's a set boundary of you're your own person in a respectful way, and
Yeah.
just to have your own time and give them their own time.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You gotta respect that if it isn't working out, you gotta end it, right? I feel like there's some people who are scared to break it up.
Right.
Because they're just but if it's not working, if you guys aren't a match, it's obvious you gotta break up. So if it's not working out, break up, guys.
That's a good boundary. Don't force it.
Don't force exactly. Don't force it.
Yeah. Well, that's dope. Yeah, I would say ultimately to summarize this whole thing, when it comes to dating in high school, my pastoral advice would be maybe don't. You can, but maybe lean towards not. But if you do, and that's totally fine if you do, there's nothing wrong with it. Just always remember you're one whole person with another whole person pursuing Jesus. You're not a half of a person pursuing another half of a person to become a whole person to pursue Jesus. You become a whole person in marriage when you do the deed. But before
it till
that,
marriage.
before marriage is like officially you're becoming of one person, because that's how God designed it. Your goal is to be one whole person with another whole person pursuing Jesus together, and therefore, like we were talking about, getting closer to one another. You know what I'm saying?
And last quick thing is, yeah, like the whole person is and another whole person. Just remember, they're not yours and you're not theirs.
Yes.
So if you end up losing them, you're not losing anything. They were never yours in the first
There
place.
it is. Yes, they become yours at marriage. Before that, they are only God's and God's alone.
I mean, when we say yours, like you don't, like you're not really like owning them, but like
Right.
like out in marriage, you would say that like you guys are one,
Yes.
and that when you are married, you are still two separate people, but together pursuing God.
No, when you're married, you are one thing. You are one unit. In the eyes of God, you are one. In the eyes of court, you are one. You can't give
Absolute
like in a
unit.
courtroom. This is like one of the coolest things about the recognition of marriage in like the government. And I'm pretty sure this is true. Don't quote me on it. But in a courtroom, you and a husband and wife can't testify on the same platform because you count as one human being. Like you can't both give a witness.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because your witnesses are different. They can ask, but anyways, all that to say, the Bible talks about the two becoming one flesh, and that's full stop fact.
Yeah, but I would still say that like you can't like you don't like own them.
That's
Like,
a bad
I don't-
word, but
yeah, like they're not yours, but
yeah, they are. The Bible says so.
yeah, but like you don't like when I think of yours, I think of like you like you're like you're pretty much like own like controlling them. Yeah,
No, I'm not talking about control. I'm talking about ownership. When you're married, you belong to them and they belong to you. Full stop. And that's why Tayson just comes in with the bar. That's why marriages are so expensive. Facts. That's another reason not to date in high school. But anyways, yeah,
Money,
no, marriage is like
money.
a full-on big deal. It's not about controlling another person. It's not about owning another person in the sense of property. It's that not a man controls a woman and owns her, and not the other way around. You are both each other's permanently.
I own you.
And that's getting clipped, John. That's getting clipped.
There's gonna be a lot of things on this clip.
Yeah. So, anyways, marriage is a big deal. And ultimately, when it comes to like being a Christian, when you're dating and in a relationship with a Christian, your goal is to pursue marriage. That doesn't mean you can't date in high school, but just keep in mind in high school that if you do, that's the end goal of this thing, right? Yeah. And it's not like, I'm not even necessarily saying you have to wait to start dating until you're ready to be married like next week. That's not what I mean. But keep in mind that that's your goal. And ultimately, when it comes down to it, that is someone's wife or someone's husband, and it might not be yours. So be careful. So be
Easy
careful
now.
how you be in a relationship with this person, emotionally, physically, spiritually, because that's someone's daughter, that's someone's son, that's someone's husband, that's someone's wife, and it might not be yours. So I know that's a kind of a mic drop, and by no means do you have to like be in a dating relationship fearful of those things, but just keep in mind like there's a future ahead of you, and what you do now matters. Yeah. That's what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. But God's leading you, and my encouragement to you and whoever's watching is that God would lead us in all of these things, right? That we would ultimately not pursue just not doing something, but that we would pursue Jesus, pursue purity, which again doesn't mean just not having sex, but it means being like in love with Jesus and pursuing him alone.
Drop the S word there.
Yeah, there it is. And well, because we talk about purity, and oftentimes our mind instantly goes to like sexual sin. And that's not what it means. Although that's part of it, that's not what it means. That's a great analogy. Water. When you think about water, it's pure. It is clean. It's untainted. It's not mixed with anything. The second you put oil and dirt and all this stuff, you start contaminating it. It doesn't look pure. It doesn't look clean anymore. Hit them with that third. What's it called? Reverse osmosis. Oh,
Okay.
that reverse osmosis water is pure. It's clean.
what my dad has.
Yeah.
My dad brags
it
about that.
Slaps, dog.
He's like,
And
it's like we got reverse osmosis
yeah,
water.
me too, dog. It's the place to be. And you don't want to mix that with anything. So purity is not just not doing something, it's remaining holy and completely belonging to Jesus
That's still
and
water.
following him. Yeah, still water. That's wild, dog.
Beat the
Anyways,
holy
that
water,
was a
not the
bar and a
still
half.
water.
So all that to say, pursue God. Ultimately, it all comes down to this truth that we talked about in this series. Only the love of the Father will satisfy any sort of these longings of any way, any romantic relationship, anything. And it looks pretty pure to me. Any,
Reverse osmosis.
any, yeah, natural spring. No, thank you.
Exactly. Give me some of that reverse osmosis.
But ultimately, only God's love is what we need. And when it comes down to it, no matter what, it's only God's love that will really change our life, that will really satisfy us, that will really bring us any sort of completion. Amen?
Amen.
All right. Well, thanks for joining the pod. This was a time and a half. All right. Good stuff. Good first pod, everybody.
See ya.
Wrap back up.
Well, guys,
That was high.
I feel like I'm gonna get canceled after the "I own you" clip.
Hold that. Red. Not that one.
No, press the yellow one.
Hold it tight.